What's up, everyone? I'm thinking about going carp fishing this weekend, so I need to make some bait. So when you're making this cherry Coke forever rice, you will need a bottle of cherry Coke. You'll need minute rice. This recipe uses the 28-ounce box. You'll need Morton salt. I guess it doesn't have to be Morton's, but and cherry Kool-Aid. I freaked myself out a little bit actually calling it cherry. The only acceptable way to refer to that is red. You'll need granulated sugar and a 5-gallon bucket. So this recipe calls for all 28 ounces of the minute rice. So you're going to pour that into the bucket. We will need 1 cup of sugar. You will need 1 cup of salt. I also like to add a Kool-Aid packet when I'm making forever rice. You can really use any flavor you want. If you're using a cherry flavored soda, maybe you want to use cherry, maybe you can match, maybe you want to have contrasting flavors, but I will use the cherry Kool-Aid packet. And that's what your dry ingredients will look like. You want to do your dry ingredients before you add in your wet ingredients. So you really just want to give this a good stir. Make sure it's all incorporated. So as for the wet ingredients, a lot of traditional rice recipes use ketchup, but you don't need ketchup. A lot of people like to use soda. So I decided to use cherry Coke today. And this is one of the parts where there's not really a great measurement. Somewhere between a third and half of the bottle will go in here. Really just follow your heart on this one. It'll seem like a lot. And at this point, if you're using extra flavoring, you can add that as well. So I know I'm using cherry Coke and cherry Kool-Aid, but I think I'm going to add a little mango to this batch. Cherry mango sounds good to me, so I'm hoping that Carp like it as well. I'm going to be using some Fat Boys Lip Rippin' sauce. Shout out to Cole's Carp Lakes in Greer, South Carolina. At this point, when you have all your ingredients, your wet ingredients incorporated, you really just have to get in there and mix it up. And again, it's going to feel like a lot of liquid at first. This recipe for forever rice really needs to sit. I like to let it sit overnight. You probably need 10 to 14 hours for this to set up, but it's going to seem like a lot of liquid at first, but just let it sit overnight and check it in the morning. But that should be good. So we're going to add the lid and let this sit overnight, and we will check it in the morning. The rice sat overnight, so I filled up the aquarium so that we can see how this rice works in the water. So for those of you unfamiliar with carp fishing and how pack bait works, it's designed to stay on your hooks while it's being thrown out, but it's designed to break apart when it hits the bottom. So you'll see the rice is now falling apart, and then your pop-ups, in this case Pop's cereal, floats to the top. So it's a lot like hiding a mousetrap in a buffet. The carp will swim by and slowly eat around the rice, and it will eventually pick up your hooks and your pop-ups as well. Just the top view here of the presentation that the carp would see as it swims by. It'll see a nice pile of bait there, and it will also pick up your hooks eventually. But carp have a very sensitive sense of smell and taste. They use their barbels to taste food that's on the bottom, even in murky water. So you'll see that that flavoring will just diffuse throughout this water and just create an attractive scent for all the carp that swim by. Thanks for watching, y'all. Carp fishing is not all that popular in central Pennsylvania. We're pretty far removed from the Pay Lakes of the South. But let me assure you, pack bait is just as effective on these wild carp. So next time you have a free day, make some rice and go catch a carp. Y'all have a good one.